love trying things for the first time, but this is a lot of things to try for the first time. Hey everybody, today I am going to be giving my kind of first impressions of the Prima Marketing Watercolor Confections sets. I was doing some research on the interwebs to figure out how many of these sets that there were. I think there's 7 total. I have 5. I got these at Planners Rock, which happened this last weekend, and I did a haul where I showed all the other shit that I got from that meetup as well, the stuff I bought from the vendors, the stuff I got as swag, etc., etc. I'll link it up above in the wherever in the hell that is. One of the things I promised to do was do a few videos on these guys. I have 5 kits. I have the Classics, Pastel Dreams, Shimmering Lights, Tropicals, and Odyssey. And I am going to try all of them out, look at the colors, kind of see what they look like and what they act like from my, for the first time trying them. And then I'm gonna actually use them over the course of the next, couple of weeks, giving you a little bit more in depth. But for now, I want to just rip into these and give you an idea of what in the hell's going on. Hard for me to find a lot of good information in one place. It was kind of all over. So I'm gonna read to you what the back of the box says. Artist grade, high quality, and highly pigmented watercolor pans, sized perfectly for artists on the go, professional grade paints, providing bright, intense, smooth, and long-lasting colors that work beautifully for any art, mixed media project, blah, 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 blah. So I haven't opened any of these yet. So let's start with one. Ooh, it's a black container, and this is a sticker on top. I can imagine that this, with a lot of use, would start to get really effed up, but I love seeing like the colors on here. It's tin, like a metal tin, and it has a little like thumb holdy thing so that you can use it like as a palette, which I never use. I just set mine flat down because that's how I roll. And I have a couple of good mixing wells here and here. And then here is a little card that has all of the numbers for the colors so that you can do a little swatch. I saw somewhere that the colors have names, like on the website. Not just numbers, but all you see here is numbers. So, okay. Now each of these little pans, they come in, the little thing actually can come out and the pans sit in these little like crevasses. Come on. And they come with a little plastic situation to hold in the watercolor paint. The nice part about these palettes like this is that you can mix up, like pull out the colors you think you're gonna use and put them into a different one. The one issue is that there is no indication anywhere on here of what in the hell this color actually is. It's important until you get your little situation here, like your little swatch sheet, until you have that filled in, don't get your shit out of order or you're not gonna know what number each color is. Wouldn't it be nice if they just printed it on the back or something? I guess I could, but I'm lazy and I'm not going to. I'm just gonna bitch about it because that's how I roll. So I'm gonna take a minute here and I'm going to unwrap all of the things and then we will start swatching these colors and taking a look at each of the sets individually. Turning the camera back on here just for a second, you can see the little pile. This is mostly just from the first palette. I want to point out that on the Shimmering Lights palette, each of the colors has a name attached to it as well. And each of the little the pans, when you open them and it has the number on the back, it also has the name on the back. Now, there's still no identifiable marks on the little pan itself. When you unwrap it, this is such a pain in my ass, P.S. I mean, I understand why it keeps the paints from getting all fucked up, but like, holy shit, man. When I turn this camera back on and we get back, now I could leave it on and you could hear me cussing, but honestly, I'm not cussing. I'm just sitting and watching videos on YouTube while I'm doing it, and it's actually kind of taking me to a zen place. If by zen place, I have a giant pile of non-biodegradable plastic and my nails are starting to fucking flake, but whatever, we won't worry about that. Going back to my YouTube video and my unwrapping. And my pile is bigger and I'm turning the camera on one more time. Now I'm opening up the Tropicals kit and the little card does not have the color names on it. It just has the numbers, but the Tropical kit has numbers and names. I am really fucking confused. I think when I do my swatches, I'm just gonna go by numbers because that's consistent on the cards, but they're all different. Maybe they're all coming out at different times so they change how their packaging is or whatever, but this is kind of hilarious. And again, I'm still in the Tropicals. These ones have the number on the side, but the Shimmering Lights doesn't have the number on the side. I'm so fucking confused at this point. It seems really like semantic-y. I don't know. I'm just like, WTF, mate? Oh, hi, me again. Okay, now I'm into the Odyssey, which I'm pretty sure is one of the newest ones. It has the color names and the numbers on the little sheet. Color names and the numbers on the little plastic, but no marking on the pan whatsoever. I will say that now the difference I am noticing between this palette and the other three, the Shimmering Lights, the Tropicals, and the Classics, the little swatch card is kind of got that like smooth, like glossy-ish, not glossy, but like that coated kind of cardstocky feel. And this one is the more porous. And in the past, what I have discovered is swatches are so much better on the more porous cardstock than on this one. I want to keep the swatches in here to make sure I remember what color is fucking what, but I'm going to be doing other swatches in one of my swatch books, and that will be the ones that I really care about in terms of the quality of the colors, not just the names of the colors or the numbers of the colors. This is a giant pile of little papers, but we have everything unwrapped, and I think it is time to start taking a look. Let me clear out some of this crap first. My little trash can looks like I just went on a Halloween candy binge. I have two water brushes that I use on the regular. This is my Pentel Aquash, and this is my Jane Davenport. You can't see it because it's all rubbed off. That's what she said. I'm using these instead of the new ones I got because the new ones I got are broad and like a flat brush, and I've never used a water brush like that on the regular before, so it made more sense to me if I was going to be testing these out for the first time to use a couple of water brushes that I'm comfortable with. What I'm going to do is I am going to swatch these colors on their little swatch thing. We'll talk about each set individually, and then we'll kind of look at them as a whole with all 5 of them. We're going to start first with the classic colors. So let me get I'm so not prepared. Hashtag professional. Make sure I'm doing this right now. I'm not sure if I'm on the right order or not. I think this is the right order. Okay, so number 1 looks to be like a white. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Let me move this shit out of the way. I got all these things everywhere. I can see it on my paper and on the swatch. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. White is generally a color I find difficult with watercolors anyway, because traditionally, if you're looking like as a watercolor purist, you should be looking at the paper as the white. The white is the paper, but whatever. So number 2 looks like it's gonna be like a hot pink. Now, when I do these watercolor swatches, I like to kind of pull it out a little bit to see, how it kind of shears out as you go. And I was told by the Prima people that these are super pigmented. And that pink one, at the very least, is very pigmented. So number 3 looks like a red. I'm just gonna keep going. Look at that. How long it takes to even start to shear it out. Orange is number 4. Feels a little bit less rich than the red, but not by much. And the claims was smooth thus far. That is exactly my experience. This is number 5, which is yellow. Okay, next we have green, which is number 6. This one feels a little less opaque. Number 7, like a light blue. 8 is a darker blue. Like this looks like a true blue. This is number 9, purple. Number 10 is brown. This is a perfect brown. Like these being called the classics is very apt, but that brown, maybe because it's so brown, it really looks poopy. Like in a actual poop kind of way, which is okay because it's brown. It's supposed to be, but I just, for some reason, that really got to me, even though it shouldn't have. Anyway, number 11 is gray. Oh, that's nice. This gray is very, very opaque. And the initial laydown of the color, you can't even see the color of the paper through it all. Kind of the same with the red and the pink. A lot of these other ones have a little bit more transparency at the start, but this gray is super opaque. The last one, number 12, is black. That one's also super opaque at the start, which is really nice, especially for a color like black, which if you're going to use it, you're going to really, unless you're watering it down, you really want it to be nice and rich. This is the classics. I think that this is a very apt name for this set. It's very, very much like the regular, the primary, and the secondary colors. If you're just looking to start with watercoloring and you're not sure what you're going to paint yet, if you were going to pick one of these kits to begin with and you didn't own any other paints, this would probably be the one to go with, just off the top of my head, if you were picking from one of these guys. On the same note, if you do own paints, this one might not actually be a good one for you to go with because you probably have these colors already. It's not gonna be dry, but My kids get home in 20 minutes, so I'm working hard here. So then the next set that we have, if you're going in order of numbers, is not this one. Yep, Tropicals comes next if you're going in order of numbers. But I'm not going to be using names because since you can't find them anywhere on any of the freaking paints, might as well just go with the numbers instead. Are these the ones that have numbers on the sides though? Yes, these guys had identifying marks on the sides, unlike I think maybe one other set had those. It's just so weird that they're so inconsistent. Let's see if the colors and the formula is consistent. The first one looks like it's going to be like a nice jungle green, number 13. Ooh, see, this is one of my favorite colors. In one of the Jane Davenport sets, I think it's one of the ocean ones or something, a lot of the colors are these very like kind of bluish, jungly, watery, rich, jewel-toned greens and blues, which are some of my favorite watercolor, like colors in general. So this is number 14. Looks like it's gonna be a kind of a sand color. Goldenrod, maybe. I wish they had obvious names so I could be like, except then they'd be something like weird, like this one is coconut and this one is palm bark. Number 15 is a blue. They are not the same. This blue is a little brighter. This one has a little bit more like of a grayish undertone. They're very close though. If they were in the same package, I might feel a little bit like that was a waste, but since they're in different packages, I can see that. I will say though that this blue is a lot more opaque than the one in the Tropicals kit. This is gonna be a very confusing video, I think. Hashtag spoiler alert. I'm also gonna run out of water in my water brushes pretty soon because I'm having to, they are very pigmented. It is taking a lot of work to clean this brush off in between colors. No lie. So this is number 16, and it looks like it's gonna be some kind of like a khaki green. Swatches are going all slanty. So far, and I'm only 4 colors deep, the observation I'm gonna make is that the classic colors are more opaque than the tropical colors. The tropical colors are really nice. There's a handful of colors in the classics that are like, they could be almost like acrylic paint in how opaque they are. Ooh, this one, number 17, this one looks like it's like a burnt orangey red color. This one looks like it might be the opaqueness I'm looking for. Yeah, that's a nice color. It's like it wasn't even shearing out hardly. I am most definitely gonna have to get up and refill these brushes at some point, but that's okay. That means that the paints are pigmented, right? Number 18 looks like it's gonna be another green. Find out how close it is to the other green. This one's a lot darker. I like that because these have very similar undertones to them, but this one is a lot richer looking than this one. I'm always on the lookout for when it feels like shit is repeating. I like to have variation. Oh, this one's also hella opaque. Look at the difference between those two greens. This one was sheer almost from the start, and this one, it's like you can't barely see through it. Nice. It is nice to have similar, like in tone colors that are just different saturations, even though it's watercolor and you can water them down, because having these kinds of differences can sometimes be really helpful when you are doing like detail work. And my camera is doing some weird shit with focusing, so if my video is getting all whack, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, here's a red of some sort for number 19. This is a very nice mix. This one looks like a purple of some sort, number 20. Almost like an indigo. And then here is like an orangey yellowy thing, I think. Number 21. I'm actually thinking you could probably make not all of these colors, but a lot of these colors from the classics by mixing. Probably could get away with a lot of like not getting this palette, I guess. On the same note though, some people like me are lazy and would rather just have the colors available than have to mix them. Everybody has different preferences. So this is number 22. Ooh, that's a pretty color. It's kind of a, I don't even want to keep describing these fucking colors. Why don't you have names that are easily available? Kind of almost like a magenta. That one though sheared out really quickly, kind of like the couple of the ones up on top here, which is kind of disappointing after seeing the other ones being like so bomb-ass diggity on the way down. So we have number 23. What do we got? What is this looking like? I can't see. Is this like a blue or is this a purple? Oh, this is like a dark, like dark blue, like a midnight blue. You're gonna wait till the midnight hour for this guy. I would have loved to see this dark midnight blue have the same opacity of the purple. It's a really pretty color though. Killed this one. I like clean it at least before I can go back and refill that. But for now, we're gonna head to the Jane Davenport brush. This guy looks like some sort of a brown, number 24. Some sort of a brown. So this is the Tropicals palette. One is called Celestial, and I don't have that one. And one is called something about pies, like decadent pies or something, which I'm still not sure what the hell that kind of a theme that is. But those two are the ones I don't have, and those may be the ones that are missing in this list. So should I leave empty spaces assuming I'm going to buy them, or should I not assume I'm going to buy them? And I'm just going to not assume. Let's just not assume. Let's not make an ass out of you and me. This is Pastel Dreams. I've been looking forward to this one. I love pastel colors. Like, I'm not a very pastel person. I'm kind of a bold person, I would say. But like in my color palettes, like if you look at my Chrissy Ann design stickers, the pastel colors are the ones I'm all over, like Stink on Poo. Poo made from 2 different shades of brown, I might say. And there's browns in here. There's 2 browns in here. There's gonna be all sorts of pastel poop up in this business. These colors though, like this like speaks to my soul already. So let's see how they turn out. And I'm also curious to see what the opacity of these looks like, considering that they are pastel colored. I'm gonna need to get a new frickin' paper towel because this one is just getting destroyed. Here's a brown, number 37. I feel like that is where my brain is going with all of these brown paints, but I don't think I've ever swatched this many brown paints at once before. Number 38 is also a brown. Now, I know that, like, some of you are like, well, you know, browns are also used for, like, hair and skin tones. And I'm like, yeah, I don't generally paint people because I suck at it. This brown, that, like, undertone of, like, kind of a sand, that is really pretty, and that appeals to me very much. So this is number 39. This is a pink. Oh, this is gonna be a hard palette to get through and say anything bad about it unless the colors suck, and then I'm gonna be sad. Pink number 2 in the palette is number 40. That is very much a pastel. That's probably the first like true pastel in the palette that I've seen. It's also opaque, which is really nice because you can get a nice pastel color, but still have it be like opaque, even though it did sheer out a lot quicker than all of the rest of the colors, which I'm assuming is gonna be par for the course with any pastel type color. And then here's another pink that kind of looks like it's slightly peachier. Yeah, that's a peach. It's a light pastel peach, and I am here for it. Now this orange though, let's see here. Ooh, like a tangerine. Number 42 and number 21, the Tangerine and the Pastel Dreams, and this one in the Tropicals, is the first one where I feel like they are the most identical. They're not exactly the same. I can see that this one shears out a little bit differently than this one does, but they are very, very similar. Here is yellow for number 43. This one looks like a mint. No, this one isn't more of a mint. This is more like an aqua, I think. That is a gorgeous color. I mean, it shears out to next to nothing, but this color right here is stunning. Color is my boyfriend. I don't know what its name is. Its name is number 44. I'm gonna run out of water here soon. So this is the one that's more of a mint. It looks like I wiped my butt and got poo on my finger. Too much information? Probably. There is slight differences between the aqua and the mint, and I can see it looking at it. You may not see it as well on camera, but it is different. I just took a break to answer a phone call and refill my water brushes, but we're back to number 46. It's like a sky blue. Oh, this whole bottom row is like filling my pastel heart with pastel joys. Pastel Dreams. Maybe it's filling my mind with pastel dreams, just like the name of the palette. Kind of like a periwinkle, it looks like a pastel periwinkle. That one is really pale. This one's almost like you could use it to paint a cloud. Very, very soft. My kids are gonna be busting through the door any minute. Be prepared. Be prepared. And this last one is the one I have been most excited about. This one and that peach were the two I was like, fuck yeah. This is like the like pastel like lavender. Kind of like an orchid. Oh, that's pretty. I love that one. Okay, right now, I'm telling you, even though there's a few similar colors, Pastel Dreams is winning the game. Generally speaking, the feel of this palette very much matches. And even this brown that I was kind of hating on fits within the scope of this palette really well. I'm a big fan. Out of all of these palettes so far, this is the one that appeals to me the most. But we still have 2 more to get through. This is gonna be a long fucking video. Our next palette is going to be Shimmering Lights. Could be wrong because it doesn't say it on the package, but I'm pretty sure Shimmering Lights has some amount of sparkle to it, a little bit. Like they look like they're gonna be sparkly, but it doesn't say it on the box. And this one, helpfully, on the little card, has names. Let's start with gold, number 49, and we'll see, let's look and see. Now, one of the things I've struggled with sometimes is the glitter in paints, but we'll see how these wind up. That is really pretty.
What is?
Oh.
Are you filming?
Yes. I'm testing these out.
That looks almost exactly like the Jane Davenport ones.
But look at that. Well, like the packages, but look at the color though. You see the shimmer?
It's very pretty.
Like very shimmery, but like not like obnoxious glittery.
Mm-hmm.
For all of you watching, yes, this is commentary with my daughter, but she is also an artist and sometimes a better artist than I am. So getting her commentary on these paints is helpful. But look how nice.
I'm a better artist than you, Mom.
I want to comment on the shimmeriness of all of these as I get through the whole palette, but so far that's really pretty.
Like, do you mean when drawing characters?
Yes.
Then yeah, I think.
Will you get me a couple more paper towels, please, sweetheart? Because I'm going through 5 sets.
It looks like an Easter egg party.
Number 50 is Twinkle. One of the things I notice sometimes with the shimmering paints is they take a couple of seconds more to wake up. This is almost like a pewter color. This one is not quite as opaque as the gold or as shimmery as the gold, but it is very mellow and laid back. So this one's called Allure. Looks like it's going to be kind of a more yellowy gold, question mark. I'm not sure if they're all supposed to be sparkly or what. Let's look at Treasure. This one looks like it's going to be kind of a khaki-ish kind of color. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about this set so far. The gold is really gorgeous, but they're very subtle, and I don't know, maybe there's something. If the pastel palette was right up my alley in terms of color selection, this one is kind of a deserty sort of feel to it, and that's not really something I gravitate towards, so maybe I'm just like kind of like wah wah, but it's not that they're bad as much as they're just, I'm not really sure what yet, but I'm gonna keep swatching them and we'll see what happens. So number 53 is Glaze. That one would pair really well against the number 38, my favorite brown from the pastel set, I think. Like, look, those two colors would look like paired together for accents and stuff. That one is also probably, along with the gold, probably one of the more vibrant and opaque colors in the set, I feel like. I'm also having a much less hard time cleaning these off compared to the other ones. Like, look, here's my watercolor thing so far. Really not that hard to clean them off, which means they maybe have a little less pigment than the other sets. Maybe. I could also be talking out of my ass. To like really wake it up to get like some color payoff, but that looks kind of like a stone almost, like a brownish stone. I'm really like off of my high of the pastel set. I'm kind of like, what? I think even the tone of my voice has gone kind of wah, wah, wah. So this one is coppered, which I'm excited about because coppery colors are some of my favorites. Wait a minute. What the yuck. That is really pale. Or like not pale, but like see-through. It's not opaque. There we go. A little bit of work, but I got a good copper going there. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. This one is Flare, kind of like a reddish color. This next color is Disco, and it looks like some kind of like a terracotta. These are so like not compared to, I mean, I know that they've got some kind of a shimmer in them, but like if you look at the opacity of all of these other colors, these just feel like so weak sauce. Disco's 57. Obviously, I didn't leave myself enough space, but no big deal. And then this one is Goldstone. Makes me want Coldstone Creamery. I'm so lost. My kids came home and now I'm like super thrown off as to what I was doing, but it's cool. Champagne. Come on. Let me love you, Champagne. And the last color is Chandelier, which is like a white, and I'm hoping it's like a shimmery white because otherwise it's going to be kind of like useless. Feels really thick, but you can't see it on the paper, but there is a shimmer there. And I gotta let these dry for a second because I'm very confused. I mean, I'm not confused. Like, I don't know if they're all shimmery or not. Like, I couldn't find anything to tell me whether they were all shimmery, whether just some of them were shimmery. Some of them are definitely more shimmery than others. If I'm tilting it, I would say that for sure, this one is most definitely the most shimmeriest. This one's very obviously shimmery. This one is very obviously shimmery. These three on the bottom, the white one and these two browns are shimmery. And I feel like there might be shimmer in the rest of them, but it's more subtle in them. Like, it's very subtle. So I feel like this could do really well to paint like a desert scene or something. I'm just not feeling it. I guess I could use these for accents, but so far this guy is not my favorite palette. Although I will say this top gold one right here and this like kind of coppery one right here, these two guys, and actually the white one. I don't know if you can see this in the light, but that white is beautiful. I could see myself using those as accents, but the rest of these, I'm just not feeling it very much. And then the last set that I'm going to be doing, I think it's Earth Tones is what they are, is Odyssey. This is the one that has like the slick card, which I'm not excited about, but that's okay. It has names. They're all places, I guess, because it's Odyssey. But the way they described this one on the internet was that it's Earth Tones, and they do kind of look Earth Tony to me. So we'll see. 73 is Tokyo. Ooh, and it's some kind of a red. It looked really boring, and then I woke it up and it was like, whoa. Oh, that is pretty. I would say the closest match is the one in the tropicals, and this one feels a little bit more purple, and this one just has like a really candy apple red. That's the name the word I'm looking for. And it's nice and opaque. Oh, see that? Look at that. I could barely even shear it out. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, now I sound like I'm a second-rate porno. Hi, Loki. What we got here? We got Rome, which is also a red. This one is a little bit more of a purpley red, almost. This most similar one would be this one from the tropical. These ones look very similar, though. You can see the difference. I'm not sure how much of a difference you can see compared to each other. There is a difference. One of them's a little bit more candy apple. One of them's a little bit duller, like almost a little bit of brick undertone, but not too much. They are different. But look at the way they sheer out, though. Like, look, I'm going to zoom you in. They are different, but not very much. I like similar for being able to do, like, shadows and detail work. And then there's, like, really similar where it feels kind of redundant. That kind of is what I'm feeling with these two colors. But let's move on and see the rest of them. This one is Amsterdam. Looks like it's going to be a blue. Oh, no, it's a purple. Ooh, that's a pretty purple, too. Oh, that's like a purpley purple. Like a really, like, royal purple. Oh, that's sexy. It's not cleaning off my brush. Now I know I'm out of the Shimmering Lights palette because my brush is not getting clean. Maui looks like it's going to be like a very terracotta-y orangish color. Very, very close to number 17 in the tropicals. I'm going to have to look how these swatch out, though, because this is really opaque, and I don't remember if the other one was so opaque. On paper, the one in the tropicals is a lot duller, a lot less vibrant and bright. It's still opaque, but just not very, like, bright and in your face. This is much brighter. There is a difference there. There are similar colors in different palettes. That doesn't bother me as much because they're different products you buy. It's when they're in the same palette, these two reds on the top, I'm looking at you, are where I start to get a little frustrated. Jordan, color are you? What the hell? Is that a brown? Or what is that? I can't tell what color that is. It's really dark. I think it's a dark brown, but I'm not sure. Let's get some color on here and swatch it out. Brown. It's so dark. Oh, that is a brown. It's almost like a reddish, like purpley brown. Like almost black brown. That's really pretty. And I could see that being really useful. And then this is Cusco, which seems to be more just regular brown. Nice and opaque. That's okay. So thus far, this Odyssey, I think so far is the most universally rich and opaque of all of the palettes. I also think that might come from the fact that a lot of these colors are darker than some of the other colors. When I glanced around to figure out whether or not the Shimmering Lights were going to be all sparkly, I discovered that the Decadent Pies has a lot of good skin tones. I haven't seen what they look like, so I don't know. I love that there is such a variety of browns because that's great for skin tones. That's great for doing nature and landscapes. Dubai is a very like brownish red. Oh, that's pretty. These are earth tones. These are some nice earth tones. And these are not colors I gravitate towards very often. Okay, my nonplusness from the Shimmering Lights is now officially dispersed. This one is Jamaica. Looks like it's a green. This one looks like a hunter green almost. London. Looks like a blue. This one is very similar to the blue and the classics, but this one is a little bit darker than that. Almost out of water. I can make it. Inca. I have an orangey yellow. The most overlap in this palette is in the tropicals. They're not the same. They look different from each other. Like if you look at these two palettes, they have different colors, but they feel like these almost, I would feel like you could get them together and have a lot of colors that really are in the same kind of family with each other, but there would be some overlap if you just got the two of those. Oh, that's like a plum. These are off the numbers, by the way. The numbers are so off. That's like a plum. That is sexy. And this last one is another white, and it's called Calgary. I think maybe having the repetitive whites is getting to be a little bit much for me, although the one with the shimmers was stunning. I don't know if there's much of a difference. I can't see it on the paper, but I feel, no, not gonna lie, Not a big fan of having the white on both of these. I feel like it could have been on the classics, and this one would have been nice to have like another green or maybe another yellow or another blue. Let's take a second here and talk about them as a whole. For the most part, there's not a lot of color overlap. There are a lot of color similarities, but you could see how they could work together. Now that this is drying, you can really see in the Odyssey that these are two different colors, but they are very close together. And that's one of my pet peeves with watercolors, because you can alter them so much, but it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just not one of my favorite things. If I was going to rate my preference, I would go with the Pastel Dreams first, because goddamn. And then I would probably go with the classics, then the tropicals, then the Odyssey, then the Shimmering Lights. The reason I would say that mostly is because I find the Shimmering Lights to be the least usable on its own. It's much more of an accent palette to me, I would say. As it is dried, they all have varying levels of shimmer, and they're all really pretty. I just don't see myself working only with that palette. I would need to incorporate it with other ones, or pop out one of these colors and shove it into one of the other palettes for when I travel. However, if I was only going to buy two palettes, I might actually buy the Pastel Dreams and the Shimmering Lights, because I think that they would work really well together because they're both so soft, but that would just be my choice. Now, when it comes to the claims on the boxes where they say that they are bright, intense, smooth, and long-lasting, I don't know about the long-lasting. I can't tell you that. I can talk about that the next video. I can say they are all bright. They are all very smooth. A lot of them are opaque. I would say the only set that I had any disappointment with when it came to the quality of them, again, was the shimmer ones, and that's just because shimmer paints don't tend to be as rich. If it was these same tones, but they were all as thick and rich as this gold, I think I'd feel differently. But because some of these are so like transparent, I don't know, compared to the rest of them, it was like one of these things is not like the others. I kind of want to get the other two palettes, or however many there are, and like fill out the set. They're expensive. I mean, they're not super expensive. They're expensive enough. You can get them online between like $17 and $25, depending on which palette you're looking at. And the two that I don't have, the Celestial and the whatever Pies one, are both sold out right now. Do I recommend these? Yes. Do I recommend you buy them all at once? No. And I'm recommending these on first impressions, not on a like nice in-depth video. That's going to come later when I've had some time to play with them. At a glance, they are all really beautiful. This Odyssey set in particular is so vibrant for watercolors, like so vibrant. Getting this kind of vibrancy that you can really, really water down, you could probably get the most color differentiation, like the most different colors from the Odyssey palette, because they're so bright and so dark that you could use so much water to create, like, let's see here. I'm just gonna try this. It's hard to do with a water brush, but we'll take, which one? We're gonna take this one right here. We're gonna take Maui, right? So I've got this, and here's the nice dark color, right? And then I'm gonna like pull it out some more. Then I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep going. Look at that. Look at how much color, like if you can see here, how much like color change there is in this. And then if you go back in with water and you reactivate it, you can pull some more up over here too. Having this much pigment means that you can really play with the color and the transparency and get several different shades out of one paint. And in that respect, I think they all have a chance to perform like this, except for maybe the pastels, because they are lighter. They're really pigmented, but they're a lighter color, so there is just not going to be as much. But especially the Odyssey and the Tropicals, you're going to be able to get a lot of different saturations of color from one set. So that might be a good spot to start with, especially if you already have like all the primary and secondary colors and you wouldn't need a classic set. Overall though, my first impression of these is very intriguing. I am, for the most part, excited to try them, and even the shimmering ones. I know I kind of talked a little shit on them, but it's mostly just because compared, like I almost should have swatched this one after the rest of them and looked at it differently as like an accent. But when you have it in the middle of all of this, it just feels a little bit out of it. But I am going to give it a try. I'm going to work with all of these palettes together and separately over the course of the next few weeks so that I can bring you back some more informed thoughts on them. This was just a first impressions. And if you would like, I can also do a video comparing these to the Jane Davenport watercolors. Let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Right now, I'm super overwhelmed. I have a shit ton of garbage sitting around me. I've got all these watercolors. They're all really pretty. That's a lot of things to do all at once. This has been a long video, and thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Again, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. Would you like to see some tutorials with these? Would you like to see me do like a painting with this in real time or if time-lapsed? Do you want to see the comparison with these in Jane Davenport? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.